Okay, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, and fishing accomplices, good morning and welcome back to Fishin'. So it is October 11th, 2025, aka opening day of tog season in the Long Island Sound, and we are going to try and make it happen this weekend, folks. Technically a 3-day weekend, but this really is it. Weather is not looking very nice for the rest of the weekend. Honestly, it's not even looking great for today. Got this morning window and we're going to try and make the most of it. I've decided I wanted to fish a little more east today. I weighed my options. Part of me wanted to stay close to home, but when I thought about it, it's only the Sound that's open right now, which means the entire South Shore, particularly out west, is closed. So anyone out there that's even inkling to get some blackfish are going to be going up to the Sound. So there are a lot more people out there than there are here. So I decided, let's see how this goes. Maybe it was a mistake, I don't know, but that's why you try things like this. I have never fished for tog in the spot that I'm at right now, but I have gotten to know this area a little bit. There's a lot of promise here, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people out here. I think anywhere you go, there's gonna be crowds today. So I decided to choose what I thought was the lesser of all potential evils. And with this, I chose this spot because A, potentially less competition, B, because I'm out a bit more east, sea bass is a very real possibility if I can get the tog and be happy with that. I would love to take some of them at home as well. And there's also other things that could show up here as well. So I'm gonna start things off fairly shallow, like 20 to 30-ish feet, looking exclusively mainly for blackfish, though of course I'm not gonna say no to a sea bass. Depending on how that goes, we might switch, go deeper, fish some heavier stuff, but we're gonna try and go light to start things off today. So that is the plan for today, and that's all I've got to say, except let's get some fishing accomplished. Okay, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, we are fishing with green crabs today. My wife was so kind as to grab me some yesterday, so let's let the crab apocalypse begin. I know there's debates about letting the legs hit the water, but I'm not gonna even deal with it right now. We're just gonna cut up a few and see if we can get any attention. One more. Got the anchor lock going, holding pretty good. And we're gonna take this crab. I think this is probably a 1/2 ounce jig. It's on the lighter side. Trying to stay light if we can, but depending on how much we're moving, we might have to upgrade. Just test that knot. Oh, well, that's good. Always test that knot. I thought that was a good one, but did tie it last week, so let's retie and get it back down there. All right, let's see what we can do. Right over a good rock, about 25 feet over 30. It's a few rocks around here. Sometimes it takes a minute. We are holding. Something, that might be a sea bass. Didn't even feel him hit it. Probably tog. The first in-season tog of the season. Not a keeper, but nice chunky hen. Get bigger. First fish. No doubt there's fish here. Question is, are there keepers? We'll give it like 10 minutes probably. Bass. Like I said, these guys are fair game too. That'd be bigger though. That's a blackfish, I think. A little better. Not terrible. I'm not gonna go crazy here. If I'm not gonna see any quality in the next like 5 or 10 minutes, we're gonna move. I'm not sure I'm feeling this spot. It's not the best sign that we're getting more sea bass than tug. It's a little better. It's a tug. Two more crabs in this spot. If we don't see any increase in quality, like something even remotely close to keeper size, we're gonna move, because there's no shortage of spot. Felt like he had it. That one had it. Might be a sea bass. Tog. It's a male. Not big, not quite the size we're looking for. Yeah, he took it. And kept the crab. Better. That's a better one for sure. Might be a keeper. Might be the one. Yeah, it's gonna make us stay. Oh. Yeah, we're gonna stay here a little longer. Good fish. Oh man. Oh man, nice fish. Oh god, he's not ready. That's a nice fish. Perfect eater size. That's one. I'm glad we stuck it out. We almost left the spot. Nice fish. At least 18 inches probably. Nice start, nice male. He is going to be tasty. Probably get him on the stringer before we unhooked him, but I'm feeling bold today. That's one. Yeah, what did I say? 18 and a half about? Good eater size. Get some nice fillets off you. Well, we were about to leave, but we're not going to leave if we get a fish like that. And usually these fish don't show up alone to the party, so... And it's a male, which is even better. I mean, it's the opening day, so... Generally I like to see males, because those are the first ones to go if the spot sees a lot of pressure, but... Today I think everything, you know, unless someone's poaching, is still in the water and around. So let's get our next batch ready. If I can get my limit quick, I'm gonna make some moves to some deep water, because deep is not gonna be an option all day today. I know that for that much for sure. At least not an easy option. That's no keeper. Not bad. Oh, not bad. Not a bad hand. Probably shouldn't grab the leader. This is a lighter line. Try and grab the hook. Sea bass. bass. Oh, small tog. All right, new spot. Cut up some crabs, start with pieces. Might not go as long on this spot because there is a buoy somewhat nearby. It's not on this rock, but it's close enough that I'm not going to go crazy if we're not finding any quality. Okay, spot number 2. Perhaps I spent a little bit too much time at that first spot. I don't know, but let's see what we can do here. Already getting bit. Swimming up with it. That might be a sea bass. Yeah, I can tell he's swimming up with it. Not something the tog would traditionally do. What I might try, if I can't get through this wall of sea bass, is throw some actual metal down there, see if we can call out a big one. Let's not waste any more crab. If I learned anything last week is that a sea bass, if they're as fired up as these ones are, will hit a bare bucktail. And apparently a bigger one will be more apt to do that. So we'll see if we can cull out some bigger ones while we're here. If there's anything even remotely quality here. No way. That must have been an accident. He definitely didn't want it. Might be as good as it's gonna get on this rock. Let's give this crab one more shot, see if we demoralize some of those sea bass, the small sea bass specifically. Okay, this time of year I'm definitely not afraid to fish shallower to find tog, especially since we're so far out east, but those small sea bass are going to be a real factor today, I think. So I'm going to start heading a little bit deeper to get into territory where, you know, they'll still be sea bass, but I don't think they'll be as thick and small. Ultimately, the goal is to find sea bass once we get our tog, but we want to secure those tog first before we start trying anything too far out there. So let's get into another spot, see if we can make it happen. All right, new rock. Plenty of rocks. This one looks really good, but it's huge, and I'm concerned that maybe it's going to be like the last one where there's just tons of small sea bass on it, but won't know unless we try. That's not good. That's not good. Try this one more time, or one more drop. Nothing we're gonna move. New spot. Not far from the last one, but this one's not quite as huge, so maybe the sea bass won't be as thick on it, giving us a chance at pulling some tog. I just don't think the tog even have a chance with all these little sea bass around. Feels like a sea bass. move. This is just a wall of small sea bass. All right, new spot, a little deeper now. This one's basically two bigger boulders side by side. A couple other spots look even better than this one, but there's pots on them, and I don't want to, you know, could be a fish pot. And it's probably better fish that are already, you know, pulled out. So, see what's doing over here. This is going to be a real ordeal today, folks. Oh, it's a tog. Might be a keeper. It's fighting like a sea bass. Did nothing. Did nothing. I don't think so, but maybe. He was just chilling. I think he's probably like 15 and a half. I was like, there's no way. Doing nothing. Could be 16, but I doubt it. Thought. Not tog. All right, well, I'm getting the right species at least. Try a few more crabs with this. I want to make a move. Might even try going out deep because it's not going to be an option for much longer. At the very least, I should be able to get a few sea bass. I hope. Okay. Slightly encouraging. That's no good. Okay, no shortage of fish around, but really hard to break through those sea bass in the areas that I'm fishing through, and some of them just aren't super productive. So I originally told myself I'd only go deep after I secured a tog limit, but with the way the forecast looks and the way things are going, if I'm going to go deep, I think now is the time to do it, because wind is definitely going to pick up a bit in the next hour or so. So I'm going to try and go deep and hit up some spots that I'm familiar with and see if we can get on some sea bass or even potentially some big tog. I might throw the conventional down there and see if we can hit them with the rig. I think especially once that tide starts moving in, it switches to incoming, if it hasn't even done so already, but really starts moving, I think even in the shallows, the bite will pick up a bunch. So we're gonna do that, hit some isolated boulders and some deeper water and see what we can pull up. I don't really care what I get that fills the cooler bag as long as it's something tasty. So sea bass, blackfish, I do not discriminate. They're both delicious. So let's get something to throw in there. Tide's not moving too strong, so we're gonna just drop a piece of squid down there on a rig. Might even try a crab too, but let's try squid first, 'cause I'm sure there's some sea bass down there. Go full squid head. Straight conventional 5-ounce weight, right to the bottom. If we had more tide, I'd, you know, throw the lure and just really stick with it, but we don't have much tide, and yeah, I think by the time we get the tide, the wind is going to be on a non-starter. So let's see what we can do with just the squid rig. small sea bass on the squid. See what happens when we drop the crab down. Any big tog down there? I'm okay with sea bass here because I think there's a better chance of finding something more quality. Doesn't feel like there's anything too good on this rock, so I'll probably move. Have to do better than that. That's another one. Tide's starting to pick up, so I think the bite's turning on. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not a keeper, but probably the biggest one so far. Drop crab again. Could be okay. Feels nice. Feels pretty nice. Hard to say because we have current now, but it's definitely not a baby. We know that much. Be cool if it was a blackfish. Proper mixed bag action. Sea bass is fine too, though. It feels like it could be a keeper for whatever it is. Oh, nice sea bass. Yeah, I'll take you. I'll take you. Yeah, that'll do. Not upset with that. Never be upset with a fish like this. Got some like nice shades of green too. Official measure. Almost 18. Works for me. Fish in the cooler bag, right? Part of me almost wants to throw the jig back down now that we have tide, but I know if I do that, there's no chance I'm catching a tog, and I'd like to at least have the option. And if a big sea bass, or a keeper sea bass rather, will hit the crab, then that's good enough for me today. It's unfortunate it has to be at the rig with this kind of current, but such is life. But yeah, it's a nice tasty fish to throw in the bag, so let's see if we can get another. See if we get another one before we move to our next rock. I was getting ready to move, but obviously we'll see it out a little longer now that fish was making himself seen. There we go. Oh, that's a good fish. Good head shakes, good head shakes. That might be a big tog. It's fighting like a tog. Big tog, or good tog, or sea bass. Oh man, fighting the tide too, so. Oh, good tog, good tog, good tog, good tog. Come on, on the net. Oh. Today, I'm taking that one. Yo, nice fish, bro. All right, barely got her too. It's not a giant, but we're here to get meat, and we're getting meat, dang it. Nice fish. the biggest fan of keeping hens, but we need meat. We even kept a ton of meat. Got a quick measure. 19.5. I'm not upset with that at all. It's got some scary teeth. All right, now we're getting somewhere, which is awesome because it was looking pretty touch and go there for a second. So let's not even hesitate. Bull, big crab, big fish down there. Now that this tide is ripping, they're starting to move good. Let's see if we can get them. We can't stay out here too much longer before it gets probably really squirrely. Alright, well, that's what I expected. Surprised we're not just getting annihilated by them, but maybe they haven't caught on yet. Put a little more weight on there. Right now we got 7 ounces on there. Tide is raging. See if we can hold better. Yeah, so through my time fishing this particular area, I was switching back and forth between squid, crab, and occasionally artificials. And while I was able to get bite on squid and crab, it just didn't seem like my artificial attempts were getting much attention. So I didn't want to, push it any longer than I had to. So eventually I just basically fully committed to the conventional and had some decent luck before I moved back to the shallows. Feels a little better. Oh yeah, that's better fish. That's a better fish. That's a good fish. That's a good fish. This one can go either way. I can't even tell with the conventional what I'm fighting, but it feels potentially legal. Might be a good tog. I'm really digging in now. It's got to be a tog. It's got weight. Oh, it's a big sea bass. Big sea bass. Yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I'll keep stacking those up all day. Nice one. That's probably a good 19-incher. That's why I'm fishing the crab, because at least I got a shot at the tog, but sea bass won't turn that up either. Let's do my due diligence. 18. That's just like the magic number of the magic size for keeper tog for me this season. Alright, well, we're definitely not having a bad opening day for sure. It's a little challenging, but I'm happy with it, and I think now is the time to commemorate where we are. I can think of no better time than to dive into our seltzer review of the day. Basically seltzer. This is a liquid death one, and I have been drinking this one actually quite a lot as of late. It's kind of been my beverage of the year, if I had to say. This is a soda, I guess technically. It's Dr. Death, a play on Dr. Pepper. I don't love Dr. Pepper, but this is a very nice take on it, for almost no sugar. And it's not like very artificial tasting, if that makes any sense. Like, it's just sweet enough, but not too sweet. I've been drinking so many of these in the last, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months as soon as I found them. So definitely check this one out if you're into, seltzer or like lighter soda. Easy 8.8, let's say. The fishing, pretty good as well. will be even better is if we can round out one of these limits, but if we just stopped right now, I'd be pretty happy with it. So let's get back down there. All right, back at it. Definitely not getting as much action out here as I probably would shallower, but I think the quality, you know, potential is up considering all the smaller fish we were getting. You know, for instance, we're catching far fewer sea bass here, but just so many small ones in the shallows. It was like almost undoable. This one's probably, that's actually not bad. That's not a bad fish. Yeah, I think small keeper. Maybe a little short. Even if it's probably like 15 and a half. This one's going back. But yeah, I mean, that would have been the biggest one I found in the shallows by quite a wide margin. So definitely, I think it was the right call, at least at that moment, to come out deeper. I'm sure now it's better because now the tide's moving, but while we're out here, I mean, that wind is only going to get more and more intense, so might as well make use of this while we can. Okay, gradually making our way back in. Another new spot. This one looks very nice, but it almost looks too nice. Like, it's one of those spots that I'm sure gets a lot of attention from fishermen such as myself. So here's the hope, and maybe, just maybe, this one was overlooked today. No doubt a lot of sea bass on this spot. Hopefully they don't all look like that. Tried the plastic, didn't get a lot of attention. Certainly not as much as crabs, but maybe we just got the fish all spoiled. This is a sea bass we're moving. That's nice, whatever this is. What is this? Oh man, what did we get? It's good, whatever this is. Might be a tug. Didn't feel big at all at first. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Good fish. Was just about to give up on this spot too. It's close. That might actually make it. Alright, I'd like to try the jig, but I don't know if it'll work. It's still moving pretty hard, the tide, and I don't have any super heavy jigs. Let's see. Oh, we're getting good already. Oh my god, that was so quick. Probably didn't even reach the bottom. Probably picked it off on the way down. Let's try again. I don't think there's gonna be any getting through these sea bass. I think I'm gonna have to go like very shallow, because otherwise the sea bass are just gonna be all over the structure. But yeah, this isn't worth it. Yeah, these sea bass, like baby sea bass, are just everywhere. You know, anywhere that's deep enough to sustain them, they're gonna be. I'm sure there might be a few nice ones mixed in, but most of them are just tiny and basically making it impossible to hook up with any tog. So I think, you know, you gotta find something that's not super isolated. We gotta find something that, you know, is probably a little bit on the shallower side. You know, they're only going to go so shallow, I'd imagine. But yeah, let's see if we can find something to get more tog and less sea bass, baby sea bass specifically. All right, another new spot, even closer to shore. Let's see if we can shake these sea bass. That could be tog. That's a tog. That's a tog. Not a tog, it's a nice sea bass. No, it's a tog. Alright. That time. Just had to go in a little closer. Still haven't shaken them. That's a better one. I think. Yeah, it's not a bad one. We're getting somewhere now. Not legal, but it's a nice short. That's a nice one. Nicer one. Tug. Do one more crab. Got to see some kind of improvement if we want to stay here. Another new spot. Pretty shallow, relatively speaking, compared to what we've been fishing today. About 20-ish feet, thereabouts. That's a good one. That's a good fish. Not bad. Nice male. That's the direction we want to see these fish go. A little skinny, but it's a nice short. That's a male. Been trying to fish whole crabs, you know, to try and cut out all the small stuff, but it seems that these fish are responding a bit better to the half crabs. And I know these fish aren't terribly big, so it seems like a self-fulfilling prophecy, but I feel like the process of, you know, just catching fish and getting more and more could potentially draw some fish from around us. So finish off the pieces I got, and then we're gonna make a move. I got maybe like 2 or 3 moves left maybe before we probably call it. But it would be nice if we can round out the limit. That's a sea bass, certainly. No, it's a tug. He's fighting like a sea bass. He changed his mind. They're all decent shorts. Alright, I just felt some fray in my braid, so I retied everything. Let's fish a few more crabs in the spot and probably make a move soon. I don't need porky today though. Aren't bad shorts. I'm willing to do another short round of crabs. Try one more crab here. Let's go whole. See if we get a big one. Make sure things on there good. was a big fish. Definitely not the one we lost. Wow, I missed all of that, but yeah, I just got a 16 and slightly over 1/2 inch sea bass. Thought I was recording, but apparently not. But yeah, let's just confirm that for the viewers at home. Sorry about that. Yeah, slightly over 16.5. Works for me. Yeah, so 2 unfortunate events in pretty quick succession. Forgetting to hit record when we got that sea bass, and more importantly, before that, having that one large fish come off on us. I didn't have him on there for too long, but I could definitely tell that was a definitely better sized fish compared to what we had been getting. I stuck it out here for probably another 20 minutes or so, but all I got was shorts. And eventually, I actually had some Marine Patrol check out my fish just to make sure they were legal. So obviously opening day, you want to make sure all your stuff is legit, but overall I can't complain. Like I said, I've never tog fished in this particular area, and to get 2 keeper tog plus the sea bass was a nice way to go for this particular session. So hoping we only go up from here. Water temps are still a bit warm, but as things cool down, I think the bite will heat up. So that'll do it for this one, and let's just go to the outro now. Okay, well, as far as Blackfish season openers for the last couple of years, this is definitely one of the better ones. It's always a little bit tough, you know, that initial wave of fish I feel like can be a little bit finicky. I think the biggest challenge today was just staying away from all those small sea bass. You know, typically I start my season a bit further west, but today I just wanted to switch it up, partially because of the winds. But you know, this many sea bass isn't necessarily a factor where I live. There might be some, but not like this. So if anything, there'll be a lot of porgies. I think the trick today was just to get to spots where the sea bass wouldn't be as thick and plentiful, the small ones in particular. So we went deep at first, which in all honesty probably wasn't the best call with regards to finding tog, but I also wanted to maybe get some bigger sea bass, and we did find that one big tog, so that worked out. Not the funnest way to catch the fish, but we got a good one there and a couple nice sea bass. I think shallower was actually the way to go, which isn't a surprise. I mean, I get a lot of my early season tog in very shallow water, but additionally, you know, the sea bass typically don't want to be in very, very shallow water. I mean, they're still around, but not as thick as like that 30 to 40 foot zone. So it was overall pretty good. You know, light jig heads, the rig, very simple, straightforward, whatever you can do to make it work. But I'm excited. It's a good start to the season. I look forward to really getting out the next couple weeks and making the most of, you know, the fall finale. So thank you as always for watching. More to come soon. Catch the next one. Goodbye from fishing.